Welcome back, everyone. This is Dave from the Korman Productions Deep Dive TV podcast. My co-host Stacie here to talk about The Institute, Season 1, Episode 6, titled Run. The episode's description reads as follows. As Tim's investigation pays off in ways he never imagined, and Sigsbee scrambles to avert disaster, Luke must finally decide who he can trust. The episode has a teleplay by Sam Sheridan, Benjamin Cabell, and Ed Redlick. The episode was directed by Jeff Renfro, and this was based on a book by Stephen King. Before going further, I'll tell you a couple things. One, this is not a sport-free podcast, so if you haven't watched the episode, I highly recommend you go and check it out, and then come back and give us a listen. Secondly, if you're listening on the platforms of this podcast, that'll be the one. Please follow, and feel free to check out our YouTube channel, Korman Productions, where additional content can be discovered. If you're already on our YouTube channel, please like, share, and comment, and subscribe to our channel. All right, shout-outs this week. We got one for Harold Perrineau, who just had a birthday a couple days before this podcast came out. That would be Thursday. He just turned 62.
Wow.
I know, right? He looks pretty good for 62.
I know.
Better than I'm going to look.
Well, I mean, probably better than any of us already look.
Yes, indeed. Of course, Harold Perrineau plays Boyd on From, so he should be pretty familiar to the people who watched this series as well.
Most people, anyways.
Yes. And, of course, he was also in Lost and a couple other things.
A whole bunch of things.
Yes. And I have, of course, a very long comment from Latrice this week, so let's get into that.
And this is regarding episode 5.
Yes. Okay. She says, thank you for humoring my super long comments and possibly crazy theories. That's what we're here for. I promise that I don't plan to make these comments so long, but more and more stuff keeps coming to my mind.
That's how it works.
Yes, absolutely.
Wait till you have 10 pages of notes like we do.
So, my last-ditch evidence on the sleeper agent theory is how do the kids connect to people to control them with the hum, like how Iris connected to and controlled the doctor that assassinated the Russian guy. Are their minds just especially susceptible to control, or are they former Institute graduates embedded back into society until they can be useful and manipulated with the hum hive mind?
There's tech involved somehow,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
Like there's some machine they're using, there's the devices on their heads. It's not just telepathy, like there's some other something involved in this. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we're going to get an explanation on how it works.
I'm sure we're not. I think the kids with the VR-looking headsets and back app are monitoring people, sleeper agents, and situations where the Institute can step in. Unless, crazy theory incoming, the kids in the Institute are maintaining the environment in From. If you believe that city and town in From are some kind of fake group virtual reality simulation. That's an interesting theory.
I mean, I'd be all for the series linking up somehow. It is totally possible. They're both made by MGM Plus. Right. They're both filmed in the same town.
A lot of the same creative team.
They both have, the same director.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not that crazy.
Nope.
Just because Stephen King's name's on one and not the other doesn't mean they can't use creative license.
Right. Also, maybe the large group of kids that are in backup before Iris weren't suited to being a conductor, but are useful as batteries and amplifiers. So they're kept around for that until they get burned out and then literally get burned and incinerated. Though I do agree with the theory that there are many other institutes spread around the world, I just think these kids could actually still be surviving from this location just as non-conductors. I mean, it's possible.
I mean, we have to kind of assume that, right?
Yeah,
we only met, the best kids for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm. Also, it's interesting that in this episode we get a reference to upstairs in addition to front half and back half. It makes me wonder if there's a downstairs to keep the symmetry going, and if so, what might go on there. Yeah, I think that's just like a typical reference to that. To the hierarchy.
The higher ups, right?
Yeah.
And I don't even know if they literally mean they're in this building when they say upstairs.
I doubt it. I think the Jeff Bowie character, however you pronounce his name.
I pronounce his name Fahey, but I could be wrong.
Jeff Fahey, it seems to me like he's in a totally different location.
It seems that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But also maybe not.
Right.
Like, they do say upstairs a lot, and I feel like they've even motioned, upward. So,
Maybe they're talking about God.
I don't know. I mean, they could be. Could be. This could be a satellite station for some religious shit. Who the frick knows?
Right. Also, it's interesting. Oh, yeah, no, we just said that. Also, I'm still convinced that the police chief isn't in on the conspiracy. I rewatched the scene, and Sigsbee is the one to put forth the theory that cops will just think Tim is a drifter who drifted on again. And Stackhouse only gets upset at the idea that Tim could be a plant from upstairs or some other outside investigator not that they would need a good theory for a local cops to explain his disappearance or death. And it's already been established that Sigsbee doesn't know all the independent contractors that Stackhouse has in his pocket. Like how she didn't know about the reporter working for him. Who's to say that Stackhouse doesn't have a lot of more unknown people in town who cooperate with him? And yet, it seems to actually be borne out in this episode that there is, in fact, other people within the town that are part of it.
Right, but that's a good point, that Sigsbee doesn't seem to know much, even though she's the leader of this place.
Right, yep.
Yeah, it's always possible that there's things she doesn't know about.
Speaking of the reporter, it seems plausible to me that she might have been tasked to create the news article about Luke's parents' death. Based on Stacie's observations, it does seem like the article is on a fake website, and she would be capable of pulling that off. And she's even on hand because Sigsbee got the reporter pulled more directly into the Institute's dealings to help fill in for the strike team lady that she killed.
Yeah, I like that, but I think it was debunked this episode.
Kind of.
Unless all of it's fake.
Right.
They're controlling the whole internet. I don't know.
Right. Also, Tim did get a little smarter in this episode when talking to Stackhouse. He never mentioned that his friend, who gave him the theory on the Red Rocks kids, was a woman, and we know that the tip from the female, the tip was from the female cop. So when Stackhouse asked Tim if she has any more theories, Tim must realize this and get suspicious. So he pauses before responding, and says that the she who gave him the theory is Annie, who's already dead, and not his female cop friend. And for the record, I'm still suspicious of Maureen. Oh, you're suspicious of Maureen, you say? Well, unfortunately, she's dead. So
Spoilers, Dave!
Yes, I mean...
We did spoiler warning already, right?
We did, yes. So, and maybe the mask and Iris is pumping in sedation drugs, so Luke leaving it off will allow her to wake up and then contact Shaw or Avery, possibly.
Possibly, but they seemed pretty comatose before being put in the room.
All right, I know we're not exactly looking forward to this, but Stacie, your thoughts on this week's episode?
Okay, so yeah, we've both been kind of not necessarily loving the idea of having to do this one.
I mean, it'll probably be fun anyway.
It's going to be fun, but yeah, get ready. We're going to rip this episode apart, unfortunately. Not that, I'm still here for the story. I'm still excited about the series, but this episode in a bubble it's really bad.
Yeah, the episode is unquestionably a mess.
It's a mess.
And it's really unfortunate. I think I'm going to just dismiss this as a one-time blemish as they're trying to set things up for the finale or for the next couple episodes. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of continuity problems here, lots of editing problems, some script problems. And in addition to all that, the Institute, the people who run it, are made out to be pretty incompetent and stupid. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it was mostly, just timeline stuff that just pulled me so out of the story.
Right, yeah.
That it completely wrecked my suspension of disbelief.
Right.
And I'm sure a lot of that is just because of this, because we're taking notes, because we're ripping, trying to get the little nitty-gritty details. Maybe the average viewer isn't going to see it the way we do.
Right, of course not.
And they're just going to be like, oh, cool, that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd love that. I love that if that's what people can take away from it.
Right.
But the first time you and I watched this, the whole time we were going, wait, what? And it did not get better upon rewatch. It did not get better upon note-taking.
It got worse.
And I'm pretty sure it's not going to get better as we actually, voice our opinions on each of these scenes.
Right.
Because I have a whole lot of what in my notes today.
Right, yeah. I'm not sure what happened here, exactly. The episode was a full 13 minutes shorter than it has been.
Yeah, it was only 45-minute total file length, including the time for the credits. When most of the episodes we have seen so far this season were very close to a full hour.
Right.
And this is without ads. We've had very long episodes. This one is the length of a normal hour of television.
Right.
But very short compared to the previous 5 episodes.
So I'm thinking that what might have happened is they had, an 8-episode plan. They knew where they wanted to go, especially in the final couple episodes of the season. So when they got to this episode, they realized, oops, we don't have enough material to make this episode last the full length of time. And so they did a lot of plate spinning and a lot of screwing around and I don't know. Like, at first I thought, oh, maybe they were just rushing, but it seemed like they were doing the exact opposite.
It's hard to put into words how I feel about this because something went wrong.
Yes.
Right? There was a disconnect somewhere, and I don't know if we should blame the writing or did something happen during production that they just didn't end up with the footage they needed?
Right.
Or was it a lack of proper editing? Like, did we get some of these scenes out of the order they were meant to be given to us?
Right.
I don't know what to blame, but it's just like, how did this come out that this is the final product? It doesn't feel like the final product. It feels like that rough draft of an essay that you write in pencil with 1,000 notes in the margins.
Right. And, you know, I expect better from this particular creative team.
Yes.
Like, I expect...
That's the point, is this series has been really good up until now. And then this just feels like an amateur production.
Right.
That's what it is. This feels like a B movie. And it shouldn't.
All right. Do we have anything else to say before diving in?
Let's just dive into the scene by scene. Expect me to stop you a lot for random comments.
Okay.
Actually, before we even get into it, I want to set up where we are, timeline-wise. Let's remember where we left off, okay? Luke met Maureen in the laundry room at 11:30 p.m. That's the timetable we're working with. It was 11:30 when he got in that laundry cart. So this cannot be more than a few minutes later, midnight tops, when he walks out of that building.
Yes.
Okay, that's where we're at.
Okay. So, the episode begins with Luke where we left him, on the old playground. He's digging with a pair of scissors underneath the gate. Was there anything stopping Maureen from getting a shovel for this guy? But anyway,
I mean,
that's the least of my problems.
The scissors were for his ear, right?
Right, yes.
The scissors weren't brought up beyond that.
Right.
And you would think, given where we go in this episode, she would have told him, I need the scissors back, the same way she said, I need the key card back.
Right.
Because her name checked the scissors out. There's a trail on the scissors.
Right.
So that should have been just as important to her as the key card.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, like, there had to have been some better option. Like, he did not plan what he's going to do once he gets to this fence.
Right. So, he uses the scissors to dig underneath the fence. As we see guards and dogs, he throws the scissors. Why? I mean,
he literally throws them across the yard.
I mean, he could have just kept them and, like, used them as a weapon or anything.
Yeah. It feels like, you know, in a video game where you have, like, this random backpack of inventory.
Yeah.
And then once you use something once, it just disappears.
Yes.
Even though it could be useful later. That's what it felt like. It's like, oh, item used. Boop, gone.
So he goes under the fence, ripping up his back in the process, and then flees into the woods.
And I want to point out also, remember he had the beef jerky?
Yes.
I thought it'd be good for the dogs.
And I questioned what the heck was that
What's
about?
he doing with the beef jerky? He didn't do anything with beef jerky. Why did he throw the beef jerky to get the dogs off his trail? The dogs would have went to the jerky instead of to him. Almost guaranteed, or at least possibly. But instead he throws the scissors.
Right. So he falls into a ditch and then has memories of Maureen going over the plan. And then we see Tim driving up to the Red Steps, which has a dedication to the teenagers that died, and a no swimming sign that is red. I mean, I guess that's why it's called the Red Steps?
Yeah, why it's called the Red Steps still doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but there is a red sign on top of the wooden staircase that leads to the area in the water that we refer to as the Red Steps. Now, the memorial sign you mentioned, so we have their names, Ruth Nelson, Zoe Sloan, Michael Hall, and George King. So we got a king in there. That's a nod, obviously.
Oh, okay.
Here's my question, though. The reason the Institute put the bodies at the Red Steps is because it's a place that's known to be deadly.
Right.
Right? It's not safe. You're not supposed to swim there. All of those warnings pre-exist. These 4 teenagers dying. So why do we have a memorial here for these 4 kids and not, like, anybody who actually died here?
Right.
Because people must have actually died here in order for it to be this place that we know of to be so deadly.
Right, yeah.
And already be off limits. So should there not be a plaque for, like, the actual people who died?
Not to mention, why is there a convenient staircase leading to this place of death?
Right, don't go here! You're not allowed to swim here, but let's build a playground-esque staircase leading to it. That's a really good point.
Right.
You usually go do that to places where you want people to hang out.
Right, yes. So we cut to Maureen cleaning the letters on the Institute when she's found by Stackhouse, who wants to know where Mrs. Sigsbee is because he can't find her on camera. And that's because the cameras are malfunctioning, because the air conditioning system is malfunctioning, which you figure Stackhouse would be in on and know about.
He should be all on top of this. And this was one of the things. He says, we can't find her on the cameras. It should be you can't find anybody on the cameras because the cameras are not working.
Right.
And we know the AC is still broken because we're going to see that scene in a minute where she's holding the broken wires in her hands.
Right.
Nobody's fixed it. So... It should be, the cameras aren't working, I have to find Sigsbee. Not, I can't find her on the cameras.
Right.
This whole episode's like that.
Yes.
Where they just say things that feel like they don't know the plot.
So, Maureen happens to know that she's in the HVAC room. And, of course, this is, at this point, to create tension for the fact that we were worried about Maureen getting out of this building alive. But... Stackhouse finds Sigsbee right in the HVAC room where Mrs. Sigsbee is just hanging out. And she points out that the air conditioning was on the fritz yesterday, which in fact should be today.
Right. Now, technically, if it's after midnight, that is yesterday.
Okay, fair enough.
But if she's still working, hasn't gone home yet, hasn't gone to sleep, a normal person's not going to call a couple hours ago yesterday.
Yes.
They're still in today mode,
right.
Even if it's after midnight.
So initially she assumes sloppiness or the building falling apart, but nope, it's active sabotage. All right, so how long has she been in this room? There's no indication of that whatsoever.
Long enough that Maureen knows she's there.
Right. But is she just standing here waiting
She's just standing there holding the ripped wires in her hand.
It's not like she's
like
fixing
staring at them.
It's not like she's fixing them, and what? Like is she just waiting for Stackhouse to find her? Is this a really bad game of hide and seek? Like, what is this? But anyway, Stackhouse is shocked that Sigsbee thinks it might be a kid and that it might be Ellis. He's like, "Are you sure?" You know, the Stackhouse that I remember from the first couple of episodes was an ultra paranoid. Really intimidating guy.
He's the head of security.
Yes. He's the one who should be coming up with the theory, I think it might be the kids that are on this.
He should have realized hours ago the cameras aren't working.
Yes.
Should have realized this because of the AC. Should have demanded a team's in here fixing it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's fixing it.
Right.
Okay.
Mrs. Sigsbee is just looking at the wires.
He should be on top of the kids.
Yeah.
He's not doing anything.
Yes.
How is he the head of security?
Yes.
He's just like, I'm looking for Sigsbee. Anybody know where she is?
So,
you should know where every person is, and you should know everything that's happening in this place. That's literally your job.
Yeah. Throughout this episode, I'm like, wait, I thought I was supposed to be intimidated and scared of this man. But really, he's super incompetent and, just a doddering old man fool. But, so she tells him that Luke is due for the box, and she will tell Tony to keep him there for a few minutes longer. I'm not sure what that even means.
As a punishment.
Okay.
For, ripping the AC out.
Gotcha.
But if we think Luke did this...
Right. Do we question why?
Do we not realize this broke the cameras?
Right.
We should all realize that by now.
Mm-hmm.
And if we know or very suspect that Luke broke the cameras, should you not already instantaneously being, let's go check on Luke?
That's what I would do. I'm not a head of security, and I have no kind of mind for that.
Or,
yeah.
Do you remember when Maureen said, if you don't give me back the key card, it's going to cause a lockdown?
Yes.
Why are we not announcing right now a lockdown?
Right.
When we know the cameras are broken, we think a kid tampered in this room they're not allowed in, and there's probably a security breach somewhere.
Right.
Why are we not calling for a lockdown? We never did that. We never did that throughout the whole episode.
Right. Yeah.
And what does a lockdown mean anyways? Isn't the freaking place always on lockdown?
I would assume it means that nobody could get in or out.
Right.
So everybody is stuck there.
Which they kind of do.
Right.
Because nobody goes home tonight.
Right.
But at the same time, we never announce we're in a lockdown. And they never announce that they think there's a problem other than the AC is broken.
Right.
That's the only problem they've put together at this point.
Yep.
So just a few extra steps would have fixed all of this.
Yeah.
If they announced a lockdown so we know they can't leave, that would have helped so much of the problems I have going forward.
Yeah.
But they never did that.
Every single point in this episode where I have a problem could be easily fixed by either adding a line or deleting a line.
Yeah, little things. But a lockdown would have made so much sense.
Mm-hmm.
If right now they were like, let's put this place on lockdown. But we don't get that line.
Nope.
And they don't start searching right away. They just They don't even think to do that.
Right.
They're like, we'll punish him with the box a little bit.
Right.
Like, what?
Yeah, at no point do they even ask, okay, he's committing sabotage. For what purpose?
Right.
Like, anyway.
How did he get in this room in the first place?
Right, yeah.
They don't even think about it.
So Stackhouse gives the rundown on Tim and his opinion that people like him, once they got a hold of something, they don't let go. And so Miss Sigsbee says, well, we're going to have to, stop him. And they just seem really ineffectual about everything. So
after every sentence, I'm stopping you with a problem. I know this probably is going to end up being really long for stupid
5 hour podcast.
But so he tells her his summation is they were right originally. He's just a drifter. He's not. Stackhouse decided he's not from upstairs. He's not FBI. He's nobody. He's a drifter. And Sigsbee's response is, "Oh, so he's not worth killing then?"
Yes.
Even though, when she originally brought up the line, he's just a drifter, the point of that line was, we can kill him because he's just a drifter.
Right.
But now when we're told he's just a drifter, her immediate reaction is, oh, so he's not worth killing.
Right. She was so gung-ho to kill everybody last episode.
Yeah, so she's like, oh, he's not worth killing. And he's like, that's not what I mean. We do have to take care of him.
Right.
And then she's like, okay, let's kill him. But, it's like such a turn of events from where she was just last week, which was a couple hours ago.
Right. So Tim continues to look for something in the woods. Luke continues to run in the woods.
And he's using Annie's map.
Yep. He finds himself looking at the bridge, the one that leads to the Institute. He makes a sound, and a guard who must have superpowers hears it somehow.
Yeah, these are the gate guards.
So, yeah. And then Luke jumps into the water to avoid detection. He swims under the water, occasionally popping up, while a guard looks over the bridge with a flashlight. Never manages to see Luke at all, and basically just eventually just gives up. And and at this point, I don't have the major problems yet with this episode. There are obviously a few, even before we get into anything else. But I'm like, wow. Everybody at the Institute this week is really incompetent and stupid.
Yeah, what's the point of having gate guards if they don't catch literally a kid swimming in the water?
Right. I mean, he's shining the flashlight right at where Luke is.
Right.
How does he not see him?
Yeah. And there's dogs too, right?
Yeah. I think so. But yeah, anyway.
So Luke managed to get across the river during this scene. So his directions from Maureen was to cross the river. So he did that. Then go downstream to the Red Steps and meet her there.
Yes.
Those are his full instructions. Cross the river, go downstream, wait at the Red Steps.
Okay.
So we've crossed the river. We did that.
All right. So Tim finds the remains of a cabin with Notre Pond carved on the bottom. Wendy calls him, gently tells him to come back so they can figure things out. Tim is like, nobody cares about what's going on here. And Wendy's like, I care. Just come back and we'll talk about it.
And she also says, you've really been out there all night?
Yes.
So suddenly we're indicating the night has eclipsed.
Right. And then she's like, dude, I need my car back because I have to be at work in an hour. And Tim says, okay, I'm coming right now. Remember that line.
Yes. So we don't know what time her shift starts.
Right.
But it's a morning shift.
Yes.
And she indicated he was out there all night. So it's been hours at least.
Yes.
We're not near midnight anymore.
Right.
Hours have passed.
Yep.
What was Tim doing for hours?
I don't know. I don't know what Tim is doing in this episode at all, honestly.
He was just walking down the river.
Yeah.
Okay, and now he found these remains of this cabin. Great. But this should not have taken hours.
Right.
To walk. It doesn't seem far. Nowhere in this episode does anything seem far apart. That's
right.
The point.
Yeah.
What have you been doing for hours?
Right.
Conversely, what has Luke been doing for hours? That's the worst part for me is what is Luke doing all night?
Right. He should be trying to get his, he should, find the Red Steps.
Red Steps, which don't seem like they're that freaking far away.
And then he should be trying to get as far away from the Institute as possible.
We've seen the map.
Yeah.
They keep showing us Annie's map. The Red Steps are not far from that bridge.
And maybe he's just really bad at following directions.
Follow the river. How is this taking hours?
Right.
He didn't go hours away. He's still right there. We're still right near Tim's car.
Right. So Maureen tries to leave for the day, but the guard stops her and says Stackhouse wants to see her in maintenance. It specifically says Stackhouse wants to see you in maintenance. And the guard tells her that she can leave her stuff because it won't be long.
Okay, so this is security guard number 2, new character. He's played by Mike McLeod. Mike McLeod was in 2 episodes of The Man in the High Castle and 2 episodes of Altered Carbon. And I want to do a timeline check really fast on Maureen. Okay?
Yep.
So, according to Wendy's statements, it's morning time now-ish. Or early morning, right? What time was Maureen supposed to end her shift?
Yeah, that is a very good question.
We literally saw her working all day in the last episode.
Yep.
To the point where Sigsbee told her to go home early, and she was like, nah, I gotta stay for the Sparkler night.
Right.
Which we know ended at 11:30.
Yes.
And Sigsbee was like, okay, finish out your shift.
Mm-hmm.
So her shift should have ended around midnight or somewhere, maybe 2 a.m.
Yes.
I don't know what time she started, but she worked all day. She was there for Sparkler night, and now it's the next morning, and she's just now checking out to go home.
Right.
Do they work 24-hour shifts? Like, what is this that she's just now leaving? And she was supposed to meet Luke when she got off shift. There was no conversation like, hide in the wood for 6 hours, and then I'm going to get off shift and meet you.
Right. Yeah. It gets worse from here. So Luke is running. It's getting lighter out. And then we cut to Stackhouse talking to Sigsbee about the pair of scissors. She wants to know who signed them out of maintenance.
And we're in Stackhouse's office.
Yes.
So he's not waiting in maintenance for Maureen, who we were just told she's supposed to meet him there.
Right. Stackhouse doesn't want to tell her because he's like, oh, you can't fire everybody for every little thing. At no point does anybody ask here that there's absolutely no legitimate reason for a pair of scissors to be out in that area. There's no legitimate reason to be out there, period.
Yeah, so they think somebody was careless and lost a pair of scissors.
Outside, where they shouldn't be.
Right.
I mean, like, maybe they were grabbing a smoke or something like that, but other than that, there's no reason to be there.
Right, so, I mean, Sigsbee's like, hey, this is negligent. Somebody could have gotten hurt. But, yeah, they're not asking the right questions.
Right, yeah.
Especially because they already suspect Luke Ellis is up to some shit.
Right.
We still haven't checked on Luke. Let's remember, we haven't even check on the kids. They think the kids are all sleeping.
And once again, this is a terrible episode for Stackhouse, specifically. I'm watching this scene, I'm going like, who the hell is this guy? This is supposed to be an intimidating head of security that we're supposed to be afraid of, and he just looks like a doddering old man, specifically in this scene. I mean, it's watchable because Mary Louise Parker and Julian Richards are great actors, but it doesn't make any damn sense. So Sigsbee asks, what the heck happened to him? I'm asking the same question. In the older days, you would have been on top of this and, against sloppiness and, all that. And she says that he hates that the higher-ups gave her the place. He denies it, but she says that his jealousy makes him sloppy, which is particularly evident in this episode. Yeah, this episode seems like character assassination for Stackhouse, who's supposed to be this uber-competent, intimidating man.
We're seeing some humanity in him.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't... Okay, at this point, we have to assume he knows it was Maureen.
Yeah.
But he's pretending he doesn't know yet.
Right.
But he already called to talk to her.
Yes.
So he knows.
Right.
But he doesn't want her fired.
Mm.
Now, I could be wrong, but doesn't fired mean killed?
I mean, effectively, yes.
Because I don't think they're letting anybody just walk away.
Right.
Right? You're here for life once you work for this company.
It's not like I get fired and I have to go get another job. No, you get fired there, you get executed.
They're going to kill you, right? So she wants to kill somebody. She doesn't know who, but she wants to kill somebody over misplaced scissors because she has no idea it's more than that. Mm-hmm. She thinks this is literally about somebody dropped a pair of scissors. And he is showing humanity by being like, why do you want to kill people? He says fire, but fire means kill. Let's remember that.
Right.
So he doesn't want somebody to lose their job, i.e. lose their life over a misplaced scissors. Now, maybe he personally is trying to piece together what really happened and keep Sigsbee out of it, but it's not showing us that he's actually doing that investigation.
No.
Other than asking to talk to her and then just not.
So, in the same scene, he decides to needle her about Hendrix, and then she tells him to find out who dropped the scissors. She wants to talk to them. Meanwhile, Maureen is pushing along a cart at night. I'm sorry, it's morning time. It's light out.
It's light out, and she's back to pushing a cart.
And I'm like, why? Why are you here? You were supposed to be talking to Stackhouse.
Yeah, so she avoided going to maintenance to talk to him. Cool. And maybe she's just pushing the cart, like, for optics, because everybody else will think she's just working, even though she's not supposed to be working.
Gotcha.
But what is she trying to do?
Right. She
goes into Sigsbee's office.
Right. And very conveniently, on camera, is Stackhouse and Miss Sigsbee in maintenance, it looks like. They're no longer in their office.
Right.
They're having an animated conversation about the scissors.
The scissors are in Sigsbee's hands.
So, asking...
Okay, so after Sigsbee was like, find out who did it, they must have went together to maintenance to find out.
Okay.
Even though we know he already knows.
Right.
Presumably, because he already called for her. Right?
Yeah.
Was it I don't know when that was.
I mean, I think that was presumably at night when she was supposed to be leaving for her shift.
But that scene was after
Right.
Wendy told Tim, I gotta be at work in an hour, get back here.
Right.
So unless she was starting work at 3 a.m., it was morning already.
Okay.
But yeah, they're in maintenance. The scissors are in her hand. But why is this on the camera, the monitor in her office when nobody's in her office? Why is this camera out of the 100 cameras in this place on her screen?
Well, I'm glad to know the cameras are working. I have no idea why this would be up at this
also,
moment.
what's Maureen looking for that she goes into Sigsy's office anyways?
Right. So, yeah. So she decides, well, I'm gonna die now. She calls the reporter and basically...
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, but I just found something else in my notes I wanted to mention about this screen of them in maintenance. There's a cut where we look at Maureen and then we see the screen again.
Yeah.
A weird cut where suddenly there's a third person in the room with them.
Right.
And then in the next cut, the third person's gone.
Oh,
so bad editing there.
I mean, they could have moved out of frame or something of the camera. But...
Yeah, but it's Stackhouse and Sigsbee, like, talking.
Right.
Then there's a cut of a third person in the room with them. And then just a blip later, that person's not there anymore. So who was that third person?
Right.
Like was that security?
Yeah.
Was that maintenance? Whatever. But it was like they were there, and then they weren't there, then they were there, then they were gone again, like in a few seconds. So
right.
That was some weird cutting.
So she calls the reporter. She says that she needs to be the one to meet Luke at the Red Steps. And the way the conversation starts, it sounds like she hasn't even talked to a reporter yet, so she has no idea anything about Luke at this point.
Right. She's like, I have somebody who has a story to tell, and I need you to meet him. She tells the reporter how she's supposed to meet him at the Red Steps, but she doesn't think she's going to make it. So she needs her friend, the reporter, to go do it.
And, of course, the reporter turns out to be Kate.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Not like we didn't call that, but yeah. So.
And Kate says, Maureen, you're a good person.
Yes. So I'm going to ask, is the death that she would receive at the hands of the Institute worse than the hanging that she does to herself later?
No.
to the point that it's not worth at least attempting to get out of the facility.
Attempting to get out.
Or just go to Stackhouse and Sigsbee and make up some lame excuse and try to get out of the situation.
Right. Be on their side.
I mean, even if she fails, again, is the death that she's going to receive at their hands worse?
Maybe go tie yourself up somewhere like the kids held you hostage and put you in a broom closet.
Yeah, you could, make up a lame excuse and then get the hell out of there. Instead, she's like, nope, I'm going to die now.
Or try and take some of them out on your way.
Right, yeah.
Try and help some other kids escape before you get killed.
Now,
do something.
What would help with this is if we established that, like, the death that you would get for something like this would be something horrific.
Like, torturous.
Like, maybe something like Handmaid's Tale where you get strung up on a wall. But we're never given any kind of...
I mean, that's not much worse than what she does to herself.
I mean, fair enough. But, like... Basically, I think the worst that they would do is go, okay, boom, shoot you in the head and you're dead. Like,
right.
Anyway, so there's a page for someone looking for Maureen saying she's wanted in maintenance, and then we cut to Luke running in the woods some more.
And it's very bright daytime now.
Yes,
we are well past sunrise.
Yep. Tim is randomly wandering in the woods. It's daylight.
It's daylight. They're both in the woods, and let me point out, they're nowhere near the river anymore.
Right.
They're both supposed to be following the dang river.
Right. Not only that, but actually, Tim is not supposed to be in the woods anymore. He's supposed to be returning his car to...
He was supposed to be going back up the river to his car.
Yes.
So, for him to leave the river makes no sense, because he walked along the river to get to where the cabin was.
Right.
So, to get back to his car, he would go back up the river.
Yes.
to where the car was.
Right.
Instead, he's in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, during daylight, hours after he was supposed to, like, get in his car and bring him back to Wendy. Like, what the hell is he doing right now?
And Luke was supposed to follow the river, upriver, to the red steps.
Right.
He also left the river, and they are meeting literally in the middle of the woods. The river's nowhere near either of them.
Yes.
How are they both here right now? Should they not be meeting at the river somewhere?
Yeah, come to think of it, why not just have them meet at the red steps?
Right.
Like, why are we doing all this? It seems like they overly complicated things here. Just meet at the red steps and then encounter Kate. Have your little encounter with her. She ends up dead, whatever. But yeah, okay. So
So we met in the middle of the woods.
Yes.
We finally, these two characters have met each other.
Yeah, we've been waiting all season long for this to happen. So they basically, Luke is very injured right now, and
He's suspicious,
yeah.
of course,
And
as to be expected.
Right. And Tim is like, what happened to you? Did your parents do that to you? And Luke basically almost falls over saying, no, my parents are dead. Luke tells him that he thinks Tim is telling him the truth, but he's not strong enough to be sure. Luke wants to know if he knows where the red steps are, and starts getting...
They're by the river, Luke.
Right.
Like, that's what you were told. Why are you not at the fucking river anymore?
I mean, this is supposed to be, like, some kind of genius, but even he's stupid in this episode. But
also, I want to point out, he has, at this point, lost the duct tape on his ear.
yes.
The duct tape is gone, and we have the open, gaping ear wound visible in this scene.
So Tim pulls something out of his pocket, which makes Luke jump. He thinks he's about to shoot him, but Tim just wants to give him his jacket because he's cold. Luke tells him he's supposed to meet someone at the red steps, and then name drops Stackhouse, which is a name that Tim is very familiar with.
Which is also something really dumb for Luke to do.
Right.
That Luke should be smarter than that.
Yes.
If you suspect this guy's in on it, why would you be naming Stackhouse like that?
Right. Tim tells him what they are going to that they're going to hike back up to his car, where they have cell phone reception. And so, by the way, this means that he knows where his car is, so it's not like he's lost. But in the meantime, he's going to have Luke tell him his story, and Luke says he isn't going to believe him. And Tim says, you'd be surprised what I would believe. And of course, he spends the rest of the episode not believing him.
Right. But yeah, where are they? How far are they from the car that we have to hike there? Both of them were supposed to be headed to the red steps already. So why are we not there?
Which basically, his car is parked right at the red steps.
Exactly.
Basically. Yes. So, Miss Sigsbee is still looking for Maureen when she notices something odd about her office. She opens the door to find one of the worst new ornaments ever. It's Maureen just hanging off her door, very dead. It looks like she's been dead for days. Stackhouse comes...
And she wrote on the floor in a Sharpie, "Hell is waiting."
Right. Stackhouse soon comes to the door and says, well, that makes sense. Maureen called her reporter just a couple minutes ago, which, by the way, neither Sigsbee nor Stackhouse know what Maureen was really up to.
Right.
The only reason that Stackhouse has any clue is because Maureen, in the office, decided to call the reporter.
Right, and then Kate called Stackhouse.
Right. So, again...
She could have left.
Right. Why are we going straight to, I need to hang myself and die?
Now, let me point this out. The only reason any of this is happening is because Luke threw the scissors.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he took the scissors with him, Maureen would have left.
Right.
She would not have been in any trouble.
Right.
It probably would have been hours and hours and hours and hours after this before they noticed Luke was missing.
And then Stackhouse says, oh, she must have been delusional. She was saying something to the reporter about helping get a kid out.
And they're like, that couldn't happen. She made that up.
And I'm like, Stackhouse, head of security, is supposed to be super uber-duper paranoid. You don't want to check to make sure that everybody's accounted for? And Sigsbee calls security to check on the tags.
She calls Zeke.
And Stackhouse is still like, no, there's no reason to do that. And then insists that everyone do a search to verify everyone's there, which includes the Joanne. Okay, so I'm going to ask the question now, and it's actually a season-long problem and not just this episode problem.
Okay.
Are there cameras in the kids' rooms?
There doesn't seem to be.
Why the hell not?
Right.
It's not like they're concerned about the kids' privacy.
They must be, even though they shouldn't be.
No.
There do not seem to be cameras in the bedrooms.
Because this whole search thing would be a lot easier if you just pull up the kids' rooms.
Right.
Or where the locations where they're supposed to. Why do they have to go and physically check to see where they are?
I mean, they should have at this point already, just because so much is going on, but... Yeah, they should have eyes in the bedrooms.
Yeah.
And we're told the only place they can talk is the ice machine. Why are they not talking in their bedrooms?
Right. Yeah.
Because we've seen them talk in their bedrooms, and it doesn't feel like that's being monitored. But why are they not having their meetings in the bedrooms then?
Right, exactly.
I have a note here. The burly guard is not in this episode. This is Zeke. And remember last week I was like, I couldn't figure out which one was Zeke?
Right.
That's because apparently I was mixing him up with the burly guard.
Gotcha.
So I thought they were both the same person last week because they were both in last week's episode and I was mixing them up. And I probably did that at different points, so I apologize for that. But yeah, so before we call for the physical check, Zeke pulls up the monitor on their tracking indicators or whatever, right? And he says everything's where it belongs. 28 locators in the back half and 3 in the front half. And when he said the 28 in the back half, he said, and I listened to this a few times, and we don't have subtitles for screeners, but it's not what I got was including Gorky Park.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but he said 28 locators in back half, including Gorky Park or something that sounded like that. And then 3 in the front half, 2 in the rooms, 1 in the cafeteria. And I paused on the screen that he's looking at the indicators, and I counted 28 red dots in back half.
Okay.
This is between like the main room and the bed in the back where the recovery room. Something really funny about this camera is it's labeled where the crematorium is.
Oh, okay.
It's labeled on the map crematorium. Like, why? Why would they have that in their files? But anyways, 2 of the kids, are in a storage room.
Okay.
Why do they have 2 kids in a storage room?
Weird.
And is that kids named Gorky and Park? Are they for some reason isolated?
Maybe.
Locked up separately? I feel like there's a thread here.
Okay.
About whatever Gorky Park or whatever those words were. And I don't know if that's the name of 2 kids or if Gorky Park is like a location where they have 2 kids.
Okay.
But twice in this episode, and this was the first time, they specifically said, including Gorky Park or whatever.
All right.
As in it's something separate, but also still in back half.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's something there.
Okay. So Sigsbee and Stackhouse leave, and she's like, "Close the door," and they close the door with Maureen. It's funny. This little scene, it makes no sense, but it's really funny at the same time. There's this Maureen is hanging out there. They're having this conversation. She's just casually shutting the door with Maureen still hanging there.
Yeah.
It's darkly funny. But Luke and Tim are in the woods. Tim does not believe in Luke's story. Shocker there.
They're on their way to the car, which seems really far away for them to have this long conversation.
They talk about the flash drive that Maureen gave him, and then we see Joanne check in on Kalisha. That's the only time we see Kalisha.
And she's pretending to be asleep.
Right.
She's actually awake, and she smiles.
Yep.
Because I guess the plan is working.
I guess so.
I mean, how does she even know the plan?
She could have had it communicated
With
Avery, yeah. And in front half, we find George passed out on the couch in the cafeteria, drunk. He's numbing the pain from the fact that his friends don't want to include him in on the escape
plan. That's my note. I said maybe he's sad he wasn't part of the escape attempt.
And not only that, but the Institute doesn't even seem
Nobody
to care
cares about George. Poor George.
Yeah, he should have been in back half by the second episode or third episode or early on. I don't understand why he's still here.
I don't know, doing something with him.
Right. They just completely ignore his character. I understand that the focus is basically become Luke and Avery, and they are the best characters and all that, but they completely ignore George. They should have done.
We never got a
reason
character. Why he's still here.
Right. Yeah. So they find Avery asleep, and then
in his bed where he belongs.
And then they can't find Luke. and they realize his indicator is snug in the bed, but sans Luke.
Yeah, and also during that, Joanne called and said she had confirmation on her 28.
Mm-hmm. So, Tim and Luke get to the car, finally. Tim wants to look at his ear.
I'm going to point out something. To get to the car,
yeah,
they came up the wooden steps.
Right.
They walked through the red steps area, up the wooden steps, past the no swimming sign to get to the car.
Right.
Remember that?
Yes.
We just came from there. We went up these stairs, literally. We didn't come, like, around the other side somehow.
Right.
We came up the stairs.
Yes. Tim wants to look at his ear. His phone goes off, indicating he's got a signal. Luke tells him to look up his name, and then Tim does so, and he finds the story about Luke.
The same article, so I
Right.
guess it was a real article.
So he goes around the car, and he looks at Luke, and Luke looks at him like he's not really sure what Tim is doing. And then he wraps his arms around Luke to give him a hug. And, you know, at first it seems like he thinks that Tim is about to attack him, based on his bearing.
Right, so if Tim believed the article that, oh, hey, Luke might have killed his parents and he's, you know, at large, yeah. But he believes Luke in this moment.
Right.
Because Luke's story is all making sense right now.
Mm-hmm. He says he's sorry and tells him the police thinks he's a person of interest. I mean, either way, regardless of whether they think he's, like, you know, the one who killed them or not, he would be a person of interest because, you know, Tim is missing. So
Luke.
That's what I meant to say. But, yeah. So, Tim calls Ashworth, but ends up getting disconnected. He lost the signal. Luke jumps to the instant conclusion that the Institute is behind this, and he needs to go warn Maureen. And I'm like, okay, if she is at the Red Steps, or on her way to the Red Steps...
Which she should have been hours ago, because it's morning!
Right. If she were there, then the fact that the Institute knows the fact that that Luke has escaped and they've jammed communications, that would not be an issue. That's not like an urgent issue. If she's still at the Institute, what are you gonna do, Luke?
Right. Now, also, he's right.
Yes.
This happened immediately after they was gone.
Yes.
But why would he jump to that conclusion?
Right.
When, we lost cell signal in the middle of the freaking woods.
Right.
That's a normal thing to happen.
Right. Yes.
It's really weird that he first jumps to that, the right conclusion.
Right.
But that conclusion that, it's the Institute that blocked communications.
So Tim
also, if Maureen was going to meet him at the Red Steps, isn't this where she'd leave work and drive to this parking lot, would she not?
Yes.
Is this not where she would go?
I would assume.
She's not walking through the woods to get here. She's coming to the parking lot with her vehicle.
Yes.
So, this is the spot. This is the entrance to the Red Steps.
Yes.
Is this not where you'd expect to meet her?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, and so Tim tries to stop him. He has Luke read his mind. Luke says that Tim does not actually believe in him, at least not about all of it, but he wants to help. And he says the best thing you can do for him is to help him find Maureen.
Help him find the Red Steps!
Right, which is right. And Tim should
There's
be like,
a sign here!
the Red Steps are right there.
Like, we just walked through that!
I successfully fulfill my purpose of helping you find the steps. But anyway, yeah. And he says if he's making it up, she won't be there. So, Tony and one of the guard...
this is Zeke.
Yeah, Zeke.
Oh, and by the way, let's remember last episode, 11:30 p.m., Tony was trying to get a towel for Maureen because he said he was about to take a shower, and then him and Zeke were going out on the town.
Right.
They had leave. They had plans.
Right.
So if we didn't go into lockdown, which we never were told we did, because we don't know there's even a problem until the next morning, why are they here?
Right.
They should have been gone. They were
Yes.
leaving at midnight to go out on the town.
Yes.
Tony and Zeke.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still here. The entire crew worked all night and is still working. Nobody ever went home.
Yeah, that is a huge problem. So they cut down the very dead Maureen, and then they say they're going to burn her body. Stackhouse and Sigsbee talk about whether to call in the escape. Sigsbee says there is no scenario in which if one of them goes down, they don't both go down.
And they're both going to end up in the chimney with Maureen.
And Stackhouse says Kate can retrieve the boy. with instructions not to hurt him too much. And Sigsbee's like, oh, you can handle him. And Stackhouse is like, oh, 14-year-old boy, it shouldn't be a problem at all. Stackhouse is not an ordinary 14-year-old boy.
I mean, he escaped here.
Right. He has TP and telekinesis. I mean, granted, these aren't super powerful things that Luke has got going on here.
But why didn't the second we realize he's gone, we send the entire security team?
Right. Yeah, we're just going to send Kate.
Instead, we're like talking still.
Right.
And he's like, I'm going to go help her out.
Right.
You should have sent the whole cavalry.
Right.
Your entire force should have been already en route.
Right. Sigsbee is going to lead a team.
Like, the gate guards, what are they doing right now?
Right, yeah. And yeah, she's basically like, she needs Stackhouse here. Stackhouse repeats what she said about being the one on the chopping block, about them both being on the chopping block. Sigsbee says she knows which head will roll the easiest and the farthest. I'm not sure which head she's suggesting.
I think she means her own.
Okay.
Because she's like, I know that I can't double-cross you.
Right.
But also, who knows at this point what anybody's talking about.
Right. Tim and Luke go to the red steps, which was right behind them.
Yeah, we can still see the wooden staircase.
Right, yeah.
We can basically see his car from here, Wendy's car. They walked like 30 feet. And also, we can see Kate off in the distance. She is not far away.
Right. So, theoretically speaking, if they walked up these red steps to her car, Kate should have been watching them walk up the red steps to the car. She
should know they're there. She should be hearing them right now.
Yeah.
She probably should have been able to hear them when they were at the car.
Yes.
And maybe she did. Maybe she's pretending she didn't.
Right.
But also, why did she not park here? We're going to learn later she parked on the complete other side of the river. What'd she do, wade through the river? Why?
I don't know.
Why would she not have parked at the red steps to go to the red steps?
Right. I mean, like, when Tim drove up here, or actually when they got back to Tim's car, Kate's car should be right here.
Exactly. But we're told later it's on the complete other side of the river.
Yeah.
When the whole point was she was supposed to be meeting Luke and convincing her that she's on his side and nothing's wrong and convincing him to go with her.
Right.
So, why would you not park here?
I don't know. So, basically Tim wants him to hang back, and basically, just in case there's a problem. And he goes to the person, and he finds the person, it's a person that he knows, in Kate. Gee, what a coincidence. Luke eventually reveals himself. Everything seems fine, but then she gets a phone call, which he is not supposed to be able to get, and Luke realizes that she knows Stackhouse. You had a big problem with this, like, how does he know? But I think when the phone rang, it was Stackhouse calling, and Luke, at that point, was able to read her mind and realize who was calling, so that's how he knew that.
I mean, maybe, but I'm still caught up on the fact that we know there's a problem just because Tim's phone didn't work and hers did.
Right.
Like, that's weird. Like, that's, again, normal in the woods.
Right. So,
also, somewhere in there, he was like, oh, you're masking. Like, I can tell you're trying to hide your thoughts from me. So he got suspicious then. But yeah, this whole scene, I don't know, it just feels lazy.
I mean, this whole episode feels that way.
It does, but like this whole meeting, right? Like this is supposed to be the big thing. She's the killer. She's coming to meet them. She's obviously not supposed to kill Luke, but it's all too quick and too easy. That they're all like, oh, do we all trust each other? And then like 30 seconds later, nope. And then it's over.
Right. Kate pulls a gun on Tim, but Luke uses his TK to drop a tree branch on her, causing her to hit her head on the rocks and basically fall into the water and die. Yeah, I'm not going to harp on the special effects here, not being super great. That doesn't really matter to me. But the whole look of this feels weird and off.
It's weird and off.
Yeah. And
also, he suddenly got very powerful with his TK. Because that was I'm telling you, that branch is heavy.
Right.
We were told before that the most powerful kid that ever came through was able to move 8 pounds.
Right.
We were very specifically told that. This is way more than 8 pounds. So yes, we know Luke is special.
Yes.
Sure. But also we've never seen him exhibiting his TK at all in a controllable way, let alone being the most powerful TK they've ever had.
Right.
All out of nowhere.
Right.
There should have been some intermediary steps showing us that particular skill strengthening.
Right. So, Tim and Luke drive. Luke wants to...
Well, before we get in the car, wait, this is an important moment to point out.
Yeah.
So
That is actually my note.
Off camera,
yeah.
between before they left the car and came here, Tim patched up his ear with a Band-Aid. We replaced the tape with a Band-Aid. Somewhere during this scene, right after Kate goes down, we get a random shot of Luke. The Band-Aid is on the wrong ear.
Now, any other episode, it would just be like, whoops, and we'd leave it at that. But in this episode, this little blunder is systematic of the problems with the entire episode.
Yeah.
It's just another issue.
So it's his right ear
that
the tracker was on that's screwed up, that has the Band-Aid on it, and then suddenly there's a shot of him, and it's on the wrong ear. And now when we first watched it, I was like, oh, they mirrored the shot for whatever reason.
No.
Oops.
Yeah.
But when I watched it again, the other markings on his face are correct. Like where his scrapes are, where the dirt is.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like they mirrored the shot. It looks like they literally put the Band-Aid on the wrong ear.
And nobody caught it. Yeah.
Should not Joe Freeman have been like, wait a second, I've been wearing a Band-Aid on this ear and a chip on this ear and prosthetic damage on this ear for the last ever. Why are you putting a Band-Aid on the wrong ear for this moment?
Right.
Somebody, he should have noticed. I mean, everybody should have noticed, but you'd think the kid would have said something that's literally the one having it done to him.
Right. Yeah, you would think so, but...
And then somebody in there should have noticed this happened, and then they should have mirrored the shot in editing to fix it.
Yes. Yep.
Because you're going to notice the Band-Aid before you notice, oh, the scrapes are on the wrong side.
Right.
Because we immediately noticed that Band-Aid's not right. And it's just for one shot. We pull back to Luke, and then we pull back to Tim, and when we go back to Luke, it's correct again.
Yeah.
It's just this one little shot.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that happened.
Right. I mean, unless that happened very early in shooting, and that's why maybe perhaps nobody noticed. But yeah, that's it, like I said, it's systematic. Any other episode, this would be.
They could have just cut that moment altogether. It was literally just a shot of him. I don't even think he had a line in that shot.
No.
So they could have cut it all together, or they could have mirrored that shot to make it look more right. But that means even in editing, they didn't notice. When they edited this little shot of him in there that was totally wrong, they didn't notice it was wrong.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yep.
Okay, then they get in the car and they drive.
Luke wants to go
and it's on the right ear again.
Right. Luke wants to go to the big city to find the FBI office. Tim wants to take him to Ashworth. Luke feels they probably have people embedded locally, and he thinks the chief is probably one of them. Tim thinks Ashworth is solid. That's a lot of confidence to show in a person you've known for a week, maybe at best.
Right.
But okay. Fine.
Yeah, but they kind of argue, and it's a good conversation.
First
of all, Luke is very correct. They should go to the big town. They should not be going to the local people.
Right.
He's totally right in that.
Right.
But Tim is like, oh, somebody just died. We got to report it. I mean, sure, but this is probably bigger than someone who just died. And you know that someone who just died was in on it.
Right. Yeah. So Tim thinks Ashworth is solid. Luke asks him if he's willing to die on the hill. And Luke says he hopes so, because otherwise they both die on that hill. I do really like this scene between these two. I think it is actually a very good scene. It's not like this is unwatchable. This episode is unwatchable. There's plenty of scenes that are fun to watch. It's just an incoherent mess when it comes down to it, though.
Right. And I wish we didn't look at it that hard.
Yeah.
But we have to.
Right. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, I don't want to sit here trashing this episode, because I was really looking forward to this series, and I think it's been a really good series up to this point.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, we're honest. If something is bad, we call it out. So Sigsbee and her crack team go to the Red Steps and find a blood splatter on a phone.
Here's her team.
Yeah.
She has Nina, who I instantly recognized. I was proud of myself.
Yes.
Nina's played by Martina Coladas. We know her very well. She was a realtor in Sullivan's Crossing in episode 303, Reed Price's realtor. She was a Colony House resident number 2 specifically in From. She was in episodes 301, 303, and just those 2 episodes. And 5 episodes of We Were Liars. She was the cook in that series. She also played a realtor in King and Pawn. I wonder if she was also Reed Price's realtor in that.
Probably.
Probably. So I recognize her right away. And then the other person with them is Mike. He is played by Joel DeLong. He's a stunt performer. He appeared in series such as The Trades, Chapelwaite, and the film The Lighthouse.
Now,
and this is the team.
Yes.
Sigsbee and 2 guards.
Yes.
That's who they sent.
Right.
Why are we not sending 20 people?
I guess they have budgetary problems, and they just didn't have the money to send a whole bunch of people. But at the same time, they mentioned the fact that the Assets car is like down the river or something like that.
Yeah, they said it's like over the river and through the woods.
Right. They're talking about Kate. And again, bringing up the point, why did Kate not park right where Tim's car is?
Yeah, and that's where we're at right now.
Right.
This is where Sigsbee came.
Yep.
She's like, oh, we're going to the Red Steps. Cool. She came to the Red Steps parking lot. Like, you would, normal person would.
Right. So, Sigsbee finds a blood splatter and Kate's phone. Sigsbee calls Stackhouse from this phone and says the reporter wasn't up to the task after all. Stackhouse at this point goes to Hendricks, and this is the only time we see Hendricks in this episode. Hendricks is thinking about long-term problems.
Specifically them running out of kids. He's
right.
like, we only have 3 kids left in front half. What's going to happen? Like, if there's no more kids for us to deal with, are we going to get killed, basically, is
right.
what he's worried about.
Stackhouse is more concerned with shorter-term goals of not dying, and so he convinces Hendricks to throw Sigsbee under the bus with him. Hendricks in the scene is pretty pathetic. But
he's always pretty pathetic.
But that's within the character. So
yeah.
This episode didn't do any damage to Hendricks.
No, he's always been like completely susceptible to both Sigsbee and Stackhouse.
Yeah.
Of being just like a yes man to anybody in the room.
Basically.
He has zero agency of his own.
Right. Tim brings Wook into the station to talk to Ashworth. Norbert is hanging around for some reason. And then Norbert leaves when he notices Wook.
He says he's going to go get the doc.
Right. And Tim says he has a flash drive to back up his story. Ashworth is confused. Basically, he's like, what exactly is this kid's story? And Tim says that he should look at the... Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Does Tim say this or does Wook say it?
I don't know.
Basically they should look at the flash drive first. Ashworth asks, naturally, the question, what's on the flash drive? And Wook says he doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which results in Ashworth giving Tim a what the fuck look. I mean, do you blame him? Like, Ashworth is losing patience and at this point being like, what the heck is going on?
No one's told him anything, right?
What the heck
how maybe we should have started with the basics, like, hey, the Institute?
Right.
They're kidnapping kids.
Right.
This kid escaped from there. Maybe we should be on alert.
So Ashworth plugs it in and discovers a video file. Meanwhile, we see Norbert calling and saying he has eyes on the boy. Well, he doesn't anymore because he's not looking at Luke anymore. He's outside. But anyway.
So yeah, as soon as we saw him in the station, I was like, oh, I was right about him.
Yeah.
There's no reason for him to be here if he's not the bad guy, right?
Right, exactly. Tim tells Ashworth, I guess we better watch it. And that is where the episode ends. I'm hoping for better next week. I really hope that this episode is not an indication that the series is about to go off the rails. Because, like I said, it's been pretty solid up until this point. I'm hoping this is a once-in-a-blue-moon blemish, which is unfortunate in an 8-episode run. Like,
right.
Bad episodes really hurt when there's only so many episodes.
Right.
But I think this is just a chess piece moving episode done incompetently. And, we recently covered the penultimate episode of Revival, and there were some narrative shortcuts there, too. Mm-hmm. But, you can kind of forgive that because the rest of the episode is fine. It's good.
Right.
This episode is just so full of problems that it's hard.
Every little bit of this episode
right. Yeah.
falls apart when you look at it too closely.
Right.
Every little bit of it.
Yes. So, like I said, I hope this is just a once-in-a-time blemish and that the rest of the season ends strong.
Yeah, so Maureen's dead.
Yes.
Kate's dead.
Yes.
We know Norbert's in on it.
Yep.
We still don't really know for sure if the chief is, whose side the chief's on.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a chance that he's still in on it, too.
Yeah.
Wendy never made it to work, so
yeah.
nobody knows where she is.
So she's
should, not here. She didn't have a car.
Tim should walk in and Ashworth should be like, do you know where Wendy is? She never came to work. Or, I I mean, Wendy.
Or she should be here pissed at him, because she had to get
Right.
a ride from Drew.
Her arms folded, giving Tim the death eyes.
Yeah, her and Drew are not here, and
Right.
she just never came to work, apparently.
Right, yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, I hope she at least called out, because otherwise it's no call, no show, and you can get fired for that. But yeah.
And let's see. Sigsbee is with 2 random people in the woods. They don't know what to do.
Right.
We don't know who exactly Norbert called. I'm assuming Stackhouse. And
Presumably.
I'm assuming he's going to get the message to Sigsbee.
Right.
And they're going to come here.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm confused of how that's all going to make sense.
Right.
That we're going to get somewhere to the point is going to be to rescue the rest of the kids.
Right.
And nobody knows geography because it apparently takes 6 hours to walk 100 yards.
Right.
in each
I'm sure Luke is kicking himself because oh yeah, all I had to do is be right here and we're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
The genius. Okay, anyway. Do you have anything else to say before concluding?
My end theory. Tim and Wendy are going to end up together and they're going to adopt Luke.
Aw.
Because he doesn't have parents anymore.
Right. What about the rest of the kids?
They're going to go home.
Oh, okay.
Because they still have parents, presumably.
Right, okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess they weren't all killed. Yeah, all right. That'd be a good way to end the series or season. We're hoping for a season 2. I'm assuming the MGM wants a season 2.
They want a season 2, and from what I understand, they're trying to figure out what a season 2 would look like.
Right. All right. We'd like to hear from you. Do you think we were too rough in this episode? Do you have? I mean,
or did you catch even more problems we didn't bring up?
Right. I mean, I'm sure you could come up with explanations for everything, but the thing is that
they didn't do them.
Right. And we, as the audience, shouldn't have to fan wink things. We shouldn't have to come up with our own explanations to make an episode make sense. If you need to do that, you have failed as a creator and writer.
Yeah.
All right. Stacie, you reached at?
I've reached on Twitter, X, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at TV and Coupon Talk.
If you like this video and want to support the channel, there are number of ways to do so. You can follow me on Twitter at Korman Productions. You can join the Korman Productions Facebook page. You can buy something from the Korman Productions store on Zazzle. You can buy me a coffee. You can join the Korman Productions membership for 99 cents a month. And of course, you can like, share, and comment on this video as well as subscribing to the channel. This is Dave and Stacie from Korman Productions, signing off.